Hello everyone, welcome to Hacked.com's weekly crypto wrap-up. My name is Sam Borgi, Chief Editor at Hacked. Once every week, usually on Friday or Saturday, we like to give you a weekly recap of the major market moving events that influence the cryptocurrency market and the broader financial markets. As many of you are aware, the crypto sphere right now is struggling. We saw huge gains in April, but over the past 3 weeks, we've seen incremental declines. And this past week, we saw a huge hit for the crypto market, falling some $60 billion from its weekly high, as a lot of uncertainty continued to circulate around things like regulation, as well as certain developments in South Korea, some taxation policies announced by one of the major exchanges also influence investor sentiment. So a lot of things happening right now. The bulls do remain firm in their conviction that we're going to go higher, but the road is very, very bumpy, as many of you are aware, and that looks set to continue as we move forward. So again, my name is Sam. You can email me at sam@hacked.com or leave me a message in the comment section if you have any questions or comments about Hacked or the crypto market. The weekly agenda is very simple. We want to give you a brief overview of the week that was in the market, focusing again on cryptos, Bitcoin, and the altcoins. We also want to give you a recap of what's going on Hacked.com and draw your attention to some of the themes that are influencing the market and that could influence your trades heading into next week. So we saw cryptos fall to a between 5 and 6 week low as of Friday. Crypto assets shed $60 billion from their weekly high of around $392 billion, falling all the way down to 320 as a bottom. However, at the time of writing, when I put this presentation together, the crypto market was valued at around $330 billion. So a week-on-week decline, I believe about $40 billion, but $60 billion fall from the high of 392, which was posted earlier in the week. A lot of the catalysts that have been put forward include the Bitfinex taxation policy announcement, exchange scandals in South Korea, especially concerning Upbit, even though they were seemingly clear of any wrongdoing. And this is an interesting one. We know that institutional adoption is growing in cryptocurrency. We wrote an article this week about hedge funds growing 64% year over year. Just crypto hedge funds, so we're seeing a huge uptake of cryptocurrency trading among the institutions, but a lot of traders feel that the adoption hasn't been fast enough. It has been coming at a slower pace. We know that Goldman Sachs is entering the market. Dutch Bourse is also entering. They're exploring whether to enter the market. So we are seeing significant movements into crypto, but overall the level of adoption is fairly low across the board. It seems like a lot of the institutions right now they're dipping their toes. They definitely want to come in, but they're waiting for regulatory hurdles to be cleared. And that's really the big question mark that we see today. However, we have also covered the outlook among the bulls, such as Tom Lee, Fundstrat Global Advisors, as well as John McAfee. They remain extremely bullish on Bitcoin. Tom Lee expects BTC to hit 25,000 this year, and the recent decline in Bitcoin, where it bottomed, I think around 7,300, hasn't altered his view. In his opinion, institutional adoption will ultimately boost Bitcoin, as will mining profitability. So overall, the market is moving in the right direction and will continue to do so, according to Tom Lee. John McAfee gave a very, very bullish forecast earlier this week when he said he expects Bitcoin to hit 15,000 by the end of next month. So according to McAfee, Bitcoin will essentially double over the next 5 or 6 weeks. He also said Bitcoin Private, which was a recent fork of Z Classic, which is itself a fork of Bitcoin, he expects that to hit $200 this summer, and he also expects a huge increase for EOS as well. I know EOS is a controversial project because there is speculation about a pump and dump. Price action over the past month or so certainly seems to indicate that something is going on with EOS. And the weekly performance, here is an outlook on the major coins, courtesy of CoinMarketCap. You see the top 15 listing here. Draw your attention to the 7-day column. Bitcoin plunged over 9% over the week, hitting 74.73 at last check. You take a look at Ethereum, Ripple, Bitcoin Cash, all falling double digits percentage-wise. EOS losses was much more contained at 5.5%. We saw Tron, the only major, not to report any declines. Obviously, Tether was right around break-even, as it should be, given the fact that it's a stable coin. Although we've drawn attention to the extent that it is actually backed by US dollars. That's a huge subject for another time. But overall, a horrible week for cryptos. If you're a bull, I mean, this is a discount price for Bitcoin and the major altcoins. However, it is often difficult to swallow such large declines in such a short period of time. And here's a chart for Bitcoin. We saw prices bottom around 7,300 before rebounding slightly to 74 to 7,500. As you all saw earlier in the month, we peaked closer to 10,000. So huge declines over the past 3 weeks as the market gave up a lot of the gains that we enjoyed in April. And the global cryptocurrency market over the past 7 days looks like this. We peaked at around 392 earlier in the week, and we've steadily declined, bottoming at 320. We are currently at around 330 to 335 billion based on last check at CoinMarketCap. So that was crypto. We also cover commodities, stocks, and Forex. The biggest news item of the week arguably was the huge plunge in oil prices that we saw on Friday. It was the biggest loss in a year as Russia and OPEC signaled that they want to put an end to their supply cuts and they're aiming to boost output again moving forward. We don't really know the details yet, but we know that Russia said it's comfortable with a price per barrel of about $60. It doesn't want prices to go up too high because it wants the market to remain efficient and buoyant. So OPEC has a big meeting scheduled in June in Vienna where they're expected to boost output. By how many barrels? We'll soon find out. WTI hit $67.50 on Friday as Brent fell to $76.44 a barrel. As you all know, oil prices approached 4-year highs last week with Brent surpassing $80 a barrel. Stocks were really uneventful this week. We saw minor gains in the S&P 500 as geopolitical risks and trade tensions weakened investor appetite. The VIX was virtually unchanged for the week, even though it rose 5% or 6% on Friday. The FOMC minutes, which were released on Wednesday, showed no urgency from the Fed to raise interest rates more aggressively this year. Many traders are pricing in 4 rate hikes this year after the first one in March. However, the minutes seem to imply that there's no rush to squeeze in that 4th rate rise, although everybody expects the Fed to act and to move higher on rates at its next meeting in June. So, on that basis, I just want to give you guys a recap of Hack.com. We are very, very busy giving you ICO analysis, the latest trade recommendations, as well as fundamental analysis on the cryptocurrency market. We covered D-Stream, Layer Protocol, Cardium, and at least 4 others this week on the ICO side. In terms of the most read articles of the week, there was a piece that I put together on the low market cap altcoins with huge potential. That one got huge reviews. Thank you all for reviewing that article. We also had a trade recommendation involving DKK and the Indian rupee. The article on John McAfee also was one of the most well-read this week. ICO analysis of Quark Chain made its way to the list again this week. And a piece that we saw on falling crypto markets signaling a buying opportunity was also a heavy favorite over the past few days. As we move into the first week of June, we are, of course, looking at the cryptocurrency market. What will June have in store? Are we going to see a bullish rebound, or will we see a continuation of the declines that we saw over the past few weeks? Obviously, Bitcoin recently threatened a major technical breakdown. Obviously, we're at a crossroads now to see whether prices will continue lower or whether we'll see a sustained rise heading into the middle of the year. We keep an eye out on an institutional adoption. Goldman Sachs, Deutsche Börse, several others are entering the space or thinking about entering the space. But of course, we're looking at more tangible clues about what other Wall Street player or major financial institution will announce their interest in crypto. Oil prices are coming unhinged. Again, it remains to be seen whether this is the beginning of another downtrend or whether markets will recover. Economic data will also be on the agenda next week. We have U.S. non-farm payrolls. We have personal income and outlays, which includes the core personal consumption expenditure index, which is the Fed's preferred measure of inflation. That more or less covers it, everyone. Thank you for listening. We will be back again next week, hopefully reporting better news in the crypto market. But regardless, we will be here next week to give you our weekly roundup. Take care, and we'll talk soon.